Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pickleball and Politics, where I combine my quest to stay out of the kitchen with my passion for politics. So, I start every episode with a little bit of pickleball, and I get it that we have real important issues that are going on right now in the country, in the world, and pickleball seems so frivolous. But what can I say? It's like my escape. So I'm playing the other day, and my game continues to get better, so I'm not going to talk about that aspect of it. I'll let you know when I get bad again, okay? And I hit the ball, and the guy on the other side, he went for it. I never go for it. I tell you, I'm not going for it, right? So he did a run, and then a drop, then a roll, and he's turning around, spinning like tumbleweed, okay, across the next court. Good thing there was nobody there. And he got up, and he was completely just covered with all kinds of like road burn, And so at first he wasn't bleeding, but then slowly, one at a time, started coming out all of the scratches, just loaded. And we're like, you're bleeding. He's like, I'm fine. I'm like, no, you're bleeding. There's blood all over his shirt, the whole bit. Luckily, we had a retired RN who plays with us, and she always has a little first aid kit. So she took it out and she cleaned it and bandaged it, and she had him good to go, but he was still covered in blood, but he continued to play. He was fine with it. It didn't bother him. But again, PSA, my public service announcement for the day: don't go for the balls. It's not worth it. He could have really hurt himself, and I'm lucky, and I'm lucky. I'm not lucky. He's lucky. I'm glad that he was okay, but he did get really on both sides. So don't hurt yourself out there. Okay, politics. Like I said, I know the pickleball seems frivolous sometimes, but it's my escape from this crazy world we're living in right now. And again, I could talk about this every single solitary day ad nauseum. The continued influx of illegal immigrants into this country has reached a new high more than ever. And I have to ask, when and where does it end? When will it stop? Because what's going on right now is literally tipping so many people. I mean, I talk to people here in Massachusetts, lifetime Democrats, and they're like, what's with all these people? I mean, they're everywhere. We can't keep this going forever. Every single hotel in the city can't be filled with immigrants, with these illegals. I mean, this just isn't sustainable. I'm going to preference every single thing I say with the fact I'm a first-generation American. I've said it before, I'll say it again, so don't go and tell me I'm a xenophobe. I don't want to hear it. I'm not afraid of people from foreign countries. My whole father's side of the family came from a foreign country, so don't go telling me that I'm a xenophobe, okay? And my mother was also a first-generation American, and her whole side of the family came from another country too. So I don't want to hear I'm a xenophobe. I have nothing wrong. I have no problem with legal immigration. And this is the key. It's legal immigration versus illegal immigration. There's no comparison. Now, I always try to remember these are human beings. And I'm a Christian. They are human beings. But what is going on is not Christian. Housing them and warehousing them, this isn't Christian. The amount of sex trafficking and child sex trafficking that's going on, that's not Christian. There's no Christianity in that, okay? All right, so if you saw this week, if you didn't, go to your computer, Google in, or whatever search engine you use, Eagle Pass and the Beast. It was called the Beast. It's this big cargo train that came over with thousands and thousands of people hanging on it like something I haven't seen since. I mean, it almost is starting to look like a scene out of Mad Max everywhere you go. Every single bit of media you see, it's starting to look like Mad Max. That's all I can think of is Mad Max. So there's thousands and thousands of people hanging on this cargo train, getting up to Eagle Pass, Texas, okay? Or getting right near the border. There, they just flooded the place. They had 12,000 illegals arrive in less than a week. It's a little small town. Of course, the mayor, he doesn't know what to do. We've talked about this before. The mayors don't know what to do because their hands are tied because the state is in control and the state is controlled by the feds. And the feds are denying this is even a problem. Oh, thank you, Joe Biden. Yes, and yet another thing, you're doing fabulous for this country. Yeah, so they're all arriving in Eagle Pass. The mayor there says that the robberies and the violence and the crime is way, way up. Well, yeah, of course. There's no one even there to take care of them. The state of Texas put a barbed wire up, and what happened? Oh, they just go a few feet down the road. I mean, not far. They've already come from who knows where. What's a few more feet? I mean, a half a mile down the road isn't going to stop these people. So they go a little bit down the road and then they get over. And then here they are. Oh, I'm here now. All right, and I'm going to tell you, go look at that videos of what happened in Eagle Pass. I don't see a woman or a child in the mix. So I know I have this argument with a lot of people, but what about the women? What about the children? What about the women? What about the children? They're not here. They're not there. I don't see any of them. Sure, you'll see some in some pictures here or there, but the majority of the people I see are grown men arriving. Think about that. We are like being invaded by a foreign army. If 25,000 guys arrived from anywhere, Haiti, I'll just say, because we have a lot of Haitians right now in Massachusetts, all of a sudden, if 25,000 men arrived from Haiti, you'd say we're being invaded. Well, nobody thinks we're being invaded. Of course we're being invaded. We are literally being invaded by foreign armies right now, by foreign countries. And not just Haiti, we're being invaded by China and all sorts of Middle East countries, African countries, South American and Central American countries. I mean, there are literally people coming here from everywhere. And this administration is just not going to stop it. So a bunch of the politicians in New York City are bracing for, oh my God, all these new people are going to come up. Because they know the people that are going through Eagle Pass right now are going to make it up to New York. Everybody's finding their way to New York. Now, Mayor Adams, he's like at wit's end now. Even he's speaking out against the Biden administration, finally, saying we got to get rid of this right to shelter law. Massachusetts has a right to shelter law also. It has to stop. I'm going to tell you, every single day, I call my state rep's office. What are you going to do about this state, this right to shelter law? I get an answering machine. Every day I send an email, all I get's an auto response back. Now, I was telling somebody this and they said to send a certified letter. Well, that's what I'm going to do. Monday morning, I'm sending a certified letter. Because when I call all my state representatives on the phone, we have a state rep and a state senator here, I get a voicemail. When I send an email, I get an auto response. Oh, thank you for your email. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Yeah, I haven't heard because I've been writing them emails for months now, it seems. So New York City's being inundated. Back to New York City. I want to get back to New York City because I read that the New York Police Department's counterintelligence agency is going to be slashed by 75%. I thought it said 15 because I do put the numbers so I get them right. But no, I made a mistake. It's 75. 75% of the offices in the New York PD terrorism unit, not intelligence, but sort of the same thing, counterterrorism unit are going to be put somewhere else in the city. They're going to be off the counterterrorism. Oh, isn't that great? We have thousands and thousands and thousands. I mean, so far, 95,000 people have arrived in New York City this year. You know it's going to be, 120, 140, 150 by the end of the year because there's more coming over all the time. So great. We're going to have all of these unvetted men. We don't know what any of them are up to. And we're slashing our counterterrorism units in the most vulnerable city in America where they always want to do the terrorism. I mean, look, we just had 9/11 a few weeks ago. Let's not even go back there, okay? So every day there's more and more migrants arriving at the Roosevelt Hotel. They're calling it the new Ellis Island. Well, isn't that great? That's where they're going to get processed or whatever and find out where they're going next. How is this sustainable, people? It's not sustainable. It has to stop. And not, can we wait until there's another administration? Can we wait if there's a new Republican president in January of 2025? All hell is breaking loose right now. All hell is breaking loose. All hell is breaking loose. There are people down the Cape Cod, I shouldn't call it the Cape, who were kicked out of hotels who are on Section 8 housing because the illegals have to come in and live. So you're kicking out Americans who are poor, below the poverty line or at the poverty line, who are living at a hotel, and telling them they have to go somewhere else. Oh, sorry, gotta go, bye. Because we got some people who just arrived and they take priority over you. What is that? People, if we don't have a border, we don't have a country. Right now, we're losing our country. This is not sustainable, and I completely 100% blame the Democratic Party, this administration, Joe Biden, the Biden administration, for allowing this invasion of our country, because that's what we're having. We are being invaded right now. We don't know who's coming, from where, if they're a criminal, if they're a saint, if they're a sinner, what they've done, but just welcome them. And don't tell me, the Statue of Liberty is out in New York Harbor and they're saying, give me your tired, give me your poor. No, sorry. Yeah, they say, give me your tired, give me your poor, give me whatever else it says on the Statue of Liberty. I don't know it off the top of my head. I probably shouldn't have brought it up if I didn't know. Because first of all, they're not coming in. You know what? When they came by the Statue of Liberty, they had to go to Ellis Island and get processed. And if you've never gone to Ellis Island, wow, it's a great museum. And it shows one of the most significant things I got out of it is this big walkway that was around the main terminal where people came in. And the guards would be looking down, and anybody they thought looked sickly got pulled out right away. And half of them got shipped back home right then and there. All right? There's TB on these. They said there were 3 people on the Beast who tested positive for TB. I'm sure there were a whole dozen more. And if they weren't tested then positive, they're tested now positive. But nobody's testing them, right? Because we don't even know where they are. So we're being invaded by a foreign army. We're housing them in the meantime. And I'm really worried about them attacking from within. From within. We're not going to be safe. We're not safe now. We're not safe now. And we're going to have more and more crime. And don't say these are good people. I'm sure some of them are good people. Not everybody's a bad person. But when you come in here illegally and you know that the system is set up, especially in blue states, to not even deal with any crime an illegal does unless they kill someone. That's basically how it goes. It's basically, oh, you committed a crime, you're illegal, okay, goodbye, because we don't want to deal with you, and we don't want to deal with ICE, and we don't want to deal with deporting you. So if you didn't do anything big, we just let you go. Okay, terrific, fantastic. So, we're going to have petty crime left and right. Anyways, I end every episode with the dink of the day, and the dink of the day is who it is every single week lately. Every single time I come on and talk to you, I got the same dink of the day, and that is the Democrats, who not only allow this, but they're encouraging it. They're encouraging it. I've talked about Vivek Ramaswamy, and he said, forget our soldiers anywhere else. We need to put soldiers on the border. And man, we need our United States armed forces on the border now. And we need to prevent them. We shouldn't be allowing them to come in, putting them on a bus, and taking care of them. We need to turn them around, arrest them, send them home, wherever they came from by. I don't even care if we have to buy them plane tickets to go back, okay? We're full. No vacancy. No vacancy. All right, you can reach me on Instagram and Getter at Pickleball and Politics. You can go on Twitter. I'm Pickle and Paul there. You can go to my YouTube channel, Pickleball and Politics, or my website, pickleballandpolitics.com. I feel like I talked about this subject before. I'm going to keep on talking about this subject. I am just one person. I don't know quite what to do. It's frustrating as can be. I want all of you to go grab a mic and go on YouTube and start voicing how you feel too. Go on Instagram, go on wherever you go, and just start voicing how you feel. I keep on calling your reps and your senators and your local reps and your mayor and all the rest, because I keep on calling and I get auto response and voicemail now. I go right to voicemail. They must have some program. Tell me if there's a program where they know the troublemakers' numbers and it goes straight. I have a feeling I'm one of them. Okay, I talked too long. I rambled too much. It happens. I try not to, but I can't help myself. All right, until next time, I will see you soon on Pickleball and Politics.